Virtual Drumline is the world's most powerful and complete software instrument for marching and concert percussion. It contains over 11,000 samples of various instruments and effects, featuring recordings from the world champion Santa Clara Vanguard drumline. Using Virtual Drumline along with your favorite music composition software will arm you with an enormous palette of percussive possibilities to create astounding realism in your playback. Virtual Drumline is becoming a must-have for music educators all over the world. Here are just a few reasons band directors and percussion instructors rely on Virtual Drumline. Give your group a competitive advantage. Putting together a marching band show takes a lot of coordination. With Virtual Drumline, you can give your drill writers and color guard choreographers an advantage by supplying them with accurate show recordings before the band has even received its music. This helps designers collaborate and get started earlier. Guess less. By hearing lifelike playback before students have mastered their parts, you'll have a clearer sense of what the final outcome will be when writing customized shows. Help students learn quickly and have more fun. Using Virtual Drumline's various metronome sounds, you can create tutorial tracks for your students at a variety of tempos. When they're learning from audio files created with the Virtual Drumline sounds, they'll have a realistic model to refer to and will have more fun knowing what their music should sound like as they learn it. Composers and arrangers everywhere are using Virtual Drumline as a part of their creative workflow. Virtual Drumline comes in a very versatile software player which is compatible with dozens of popular music applications, allowing you to be flexible and work in a variety of ways. Being able to hear your work immediately is a very valuable part of the composing process. Spend more time writing and less time explaining. With such realistic playback, you can more effectively communicate your musical ideas with co-writers or non-musicians you may be collaborating with. Virtual Drumline also combines well with other virtual instruments to broaden the spectrum of sounds you have to choose from. Outside the world of marching and concert band music, Virtual Drumline is being used by film composers and commercial professionals for film and media projects. All that said, with Virtual Drumline, you aren't limited to marking time with one style of writing or one way of working. With a collection of both common and rare instruments and effects, there are over 200 patches to choose from within these various categories. Mallet keyboard instruments and tune percussion, accessory percussion items, many different types of crash cymbals, suspended cymbals, and gongs, world percussion instruments, marching drumline sounds in a variety of mapped formats, and that includes both section ensemble sounds as well as soloists, some great special effect instruments and sounds, drum set, steel drum orchestra, and basic rhythm section instruments like piano, bass, and electric guitar. With so many instruments to choose from, you can rest assured that Virtual Drumline has you covered whenever you need a percussion instrument. Not long ago, in order to use these kinds of sampled sounds, you'd need additional expensive sample playback software to load the sounds into. Well, not anymore. Virtual Drumline 2.5 comes bundled in Native Instruments' powerful Contact Player software, so no extra sampler software is necessary. You can run it in standalone mode as its own program, or for tighter integration, use it as a plugin within music programs that host VST, Audio Unit, RTAS, or DX instrument plugin formats. If you want to hear your Virtual Drumline sounds with notated sheet music, use either Sibelius or Finale notation programs, giving you a seamless way to integrate your VDL sounds in the environment of your notation program. With the power of Contact Player, you have access to huge amounts of playback polyphony that is only limited by the speed and the specs of your computer. Let's take a look at some of the intricate details that make Virtual Drumline so powerful. The Virtual Drumline library contains over 200 instruments, and each of these instruments contains numerous playing techniques and a variety of sounds that are specific to each instrument. For example, A snare line can create more than just the sound of a snare drum being struck. Techniques such as rim shots, ping shots, rim clicks, various buzz rolls that crescendo or decrescendo, dreadlocks, bundle rods, stick clicks, snares on or off, backsticking, snares playing on cymbals, and many other sounds are unique to that instrument. So each patch in Virtual Drumline is mapped with numerous techniques like this and various articulations that are specific to it. Any instrument that is typically played with two hands has been programmed so that both hands are playable. Since there can be very slight fluctuations in hand-to-hand percussion playing, these variables will actually help make playback more convincing. For the best realism, our manual instruments give you complete control over the sound of your stickings. Paradiddles will sound like paradiddles. Double stroke rolls will sound like true double strokes. We've also created separate instruments with our auto right-left feature. So in auto right-left instruments, right hand and left hand strokes will be automatically alternated, which will help prevent fast rhythms from sounding mechanical with the dreaded machine gun effect. In addition to the numerous sounds mapped across each instrument, all VDL instruments are velocity sensitive. This means that music played at softer dynamics won't just play more quietly, but it will actually trigger sampled recordings of softer strokes. Likewise, higher velocities will trigger louder recordings. So this level of programming detail gives instruments an incredibly lifelike sound. Many of the concert and orchestral instruments, such as marimbas, vibraphones, crotales, glockenspiel, and timpani, come with multiple mallet selections to give you more control over your sound. So if your timpani part sounds too harsh using hard mallets, simply choose the medium or soft mallet version instead. Several instruments in Virtual Drumline have the letters MW in the instrument name. What this signifies is that the instrument is capable of enhanced programming with the mod wheel, giving you access to even more details. For example, in the marimbas, when the mod wheel is in the default down position, you'll hear regular marimba strokes. Move the mod wheel up a little bit, and you'll have dead strokes. Move it up a little bit more, and you'll be playing your marimba with the birch shaft of the mallet all the way up, and it gives you recorded roll tremolos. Other instruments have different mod wheel functions, such as glissandi in the xylophones, dampening in the vibraphones, playing in the center of the timpani head, and many other options depending on the instrument. Other instruments in VDL have the letters KS in the instrument name. This means that the instrument has some key switch functions, which offer even more enhanced control over the sound. These red keys indicate key switches. Using the drum set, when we press the C1 key switch, our snares are on. Hitting the D1 triggers the snares off key switch. Notice how this doesn't just affect the snare drum. Other instruments such as tenorline and bassline use key switch functions to quickly switch between regular mallets and puffy mallets. You can track your settings by viewing these mod wheel and key switch monitor windows that appear in instruments that use those functions. All Virtual Drumline instruments allow you to further customize your sound and how your instruments play back. You'll see obvious controls for instrument volume, pitch, and panning. You'll also have enhanced control over basic EQ settings, as well as length control for attacks and releases. So this overview of Virtual Drumline has merely been a small look at a tool that can revolutionize the way you approach writing and teaching music with technology. Below are but just a few respected arrangers, organizations, and teachers who are using Virtual Drumline to push the boundaries of their creative process and to help their students learn. For more information on Virtual Drumline, or to hear demos of music that was created with it, visit the Tapspace website. Once you start integrating Virtual Drumline into your musical world, you may wonder how you ever worked without it. Virtual Drumline by Tapspace.